and then the club, the Pimanyemana.
First of all, I would like to start by saying Happy New Year to you. I hope you enjoy this year. I hope you prosper. I hope you achieve your goals. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pilo. I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. I'm a Khosi Football Club. And in this video, we'll be giving player ratings for the game that we played against Golden Arrows. And some of these ones you will disagree with, but do make sure to give me your own player ratings down on the comment section below. So we start with our goalkeeper, Khune, the stopper, our captain. And Khune, guys, yabo second half, early second half, there were those crucial saves that he made that I was like, oh my god, if it wasn't for those saves, then the game would have taken a completely different direction, because as we know, a game ka 2-0, it's always very risky because you concede one goal and then all of a sudden you're in trouble. So Khune made vital saves for the team, and then we saw once again why we need him so much with his quick reflexes, communication with the team and stuff like that. So for me, Khune, because he produced match winning saves, I give him a 9 out of 10. Then we move on to Frosler. Frosler had a brilliant game, guys, in the first half. Right? I know he played very well in the first half, and then second half he just disappeared. And it's the case for most of our players. And because of that, I am expecting more from a player who's at the start, who's playing for Kaizer Chiefs. And if you're not going to give me 100% throughout the match, then sobanenkinga. And then yes, I can cut them some slack because it was after a long break, and I will give him a 7.5 because of that. And then we move on to Uhlanti. I've been saying izinto ngayo ukuthi I don't think lack of competition in that position is really helping him, because I feel like he knows ukuthi Mashiane is not being picked. He knows ukuthi he's the only one who's playing that position, and also the injury concerns ukuthi he's saving himself, and the fact that we just returned from a long break. So I didn't really see much from Uhlanti, and sometimes it just looks more relaxed. There is a pass that's going forward, he doesn't see it. I wasn't impressed, and I will give him 5.5. I'm being generous. Move on to our center backs, starting with Khune, another one that I was really disappointed in. I know I talked to someone in my comments as well, he was covering for Frosler and then Udove to cover for him, but it just looks out of shape. Even when he was jogging back from corners, it doesn't look like he's fit and ready to play. And I'm not taking shots at Khune really, but I'm not impressed with his fitness. And I said it's the case for most of our players. Fitness yabo is not at the greatest level, but Khune just looks like he's a bit lower compared to the rest of them, and because of that I will also give him a 5.5. Then Udove, the guy who's always and consistently giving us good performances, and also on top of that, yesterday also scored a goal. And Udove, guys, he's always just giving us those top tier performances, and also for him I give him a 9 out of 10. Move on to midfield, Samgelozwane. That was a big one. That was that player. I was never so good. Oh my god, boy, please deliver for the sake of me, for your sake, and for the sake of everyone who wants to see you succeed at Chiefs. And didn't he deliver? He did exactly that. If you're enjoying this video, by the way, please make sure to like, please subscribe, and also leave your comments letting me know what are your player ratings. And obviously for Uzwane, I gave him first full team debut, I just gave him an 8 out of 10 because he was defensively, we were not really challenged that much, and I didn't see him doing much in that defensive part. But when we did have the ball, which is something that people were complaining about, going forward maybe is lacking. Well, Uzwane, we saw Beno Mart, we'll talk about Mart in a second, they were spreading passes for fun. Jemabene Bola, they were spreading passes, and you can see he will have to develop his defensive role, but you can see as a deep lying playmaker, he's already like in that level. Yokuba matured enough he picks a pass, he knows how to see the players who are running, and that's gonna be vital when we are playing against teams that have a position good, when he wins the ball back, then he's able to spot the runners and then play the pass to them, and then all of a sudden we are dangerous to the teams that we are playing against. So because of that, I am giving Usamkelo Zwane 8 out of 10. Move on to Umart once again. As Uzwane, they were playing as a double pivot 6 lapper. They were doing really well. Aguko, there wasn't a point where I was like, we're being dominated in midfield or stuff like that. It was just a collective effort to Bakatele, and that's why we looked poor in the second half. However, when it comes to Mart, I saw wow. When it comes to going forward, passes were more accurate this time, because sometimes we've seen Marti, even when he was taking shots, they were not accurate in previous games, but in yesterday's game we saw it's much better, the accuracy in the passes, the accuracy in the shots that he took. I think it was one shot. It's much better and we see improvement. So Guayana, I am also going to give him, maybe 8, because it was his first game and he gets just an extra 0.5. And then Umshini, I would say I saw more from our defensive players, from our double pivots, 6, than Umshini. And he played an okay game, but it wasn't like super impressive. I'm like, yeah, go get them, Umshini, you are killing it. He was okay. He was above average. So because of that, I will give him a 6.5. Hash, let me know what you think about, what you thought of Umshini's performance. And then Udoli, who seemed also a bit quiet. In our wingers yesterday, I saw the side that we used the most was actually the side left where Umahlatsi was, and then in the second half where Usehota was, and not so much the right wing position. So when we were seeing something happening on the right, it was Frosler with the ball or on the ball. If we saw anything else happening, Udol will just be passing the ball 1-2, and it's always good. Mdlalmai was one of the simple things, but also he was good going back, like when we had to mark, covering Omodi, covering whoever was on the ball. So it wasn't a bad game for him, but it wasn't like a spectacular game for him either. So I think it would be just fair to give Udoli a 7 out of 10. Matlatsi had a good game, right? It's just that Ugu Katala and the fact that he hasn't played in a long time also contributed massively in him being taken out. But if the problem with Umahlatsi has been Uguti he has not adapted to Zwane's style, yesterday we definitely saw Uguti he has been listening to what Zwane has been telling him, making those diagonal runs on the ball. He wasn't as wasteful as Usehota usually is, because another thing that we complain about Uhlanti that I did not mention is the fact that sometimes Usehota is so wasteful with the ball because he usually doesn't have his support, because Uhlanti inverts to midfield, and I think he's told to do that by Uzwan, and usually that means one of our players, attacking midfielder Iten Umshini, is supposed to go and support Usehota or Umahlatsi or whoever is playing on that side. But still, even without his support, Umahlatsi still showed better control of the ball than Usehota usually does. And I know some people will say, hey, it was so better, but I that's what I thought. And I think Umahlatsi really played well, and for that I will give him a 7, because he went out after half time because of the cartel, but still it was a good performance from him.
And then the Caleb, the Bimangimana.
Caleb assist and a goal, then gets tired, but he was good for us in the match. Hold up play, bringing other players to run off of him. It was good to see Uguti is doing exactly what we want from our striker. And Caleb, ngimnikeza 8, a goal and an assist. Maybe I should say 8.5. Let's give him an 8.5. Unjabulo Ngobo, I will say I was happy to see confidence yakhe on the ball. Okay, he's like confident on the ball. Last time we played against Arrows, he made mistakes. He was just confident on the ball and dribbling, because it was additional time and you had to, turn it up and show we are winning this game. But he also almost made a mistake, and that could be the problem. Sometimes if you're overconfident, especially playing that deep in the field, you lose the ball around that area, you end up conceding a goal. So maybe you should just be a bit extra cautious in those areas and make sure let's just make sure we move the ball up the field and then waste time on their half, not on our half, because they win the ball on our half, then they destroy us. But Tigek, I won't go so hard on him because he didn't play that long also. I'll just give him a 6.5. Then the next player is Duzi. Oh wow, I didn't even plan to say it that way, but hey, it happens. Confidence, first few touches, they weren't so great, but then got onto the game and then started passing the ball, finding space. Here's the thing, there are strikers who create chances for themselves by making the right moves and by observing where the defenders are, by observing where the space is. But he's able to do that more than the players that we have with Chiefs right now, most of the players that we have, because you see Uzwane shouting and screaming at our players, move across, what's your marker, in. But does that without being told. We are born good, okay, good space, run, space. And I would want to see that from most of our players. And ukubona loko from it makes me really happy. Yes, it's the correct English. Yeah. Anyways, played really well, and I think he deserves to get a 7.5. 7.5. Yeah, give him a 7.5 because he didn't play the entire game. Also, another thing just to mention, it's also important if you're coming on as a sub, we see the difference that you're making to a team, and we definitely saw the difference that made to the team. I'm testing my camera. Autofocus. It's following me everywhere. Okay, then we move to Usekhota. Sekhota comes in, and you expect this from Sekhota. He's gonna turn it up. He's going to show them flames, and he came in and he started showing them flames. And that's Sekhota for you. Standard performance, 7.5 performance. Nothing much we got from that, but it's still like that best of pace that you're expecting from a player of his caliber. And Usekhota is just that player who's always going to deliver. Like, he's going to do what you're expecting from him. It's just that Tigemanje, we need him to be more clinical. We need him to be much better in the decision making and in the final passes that he makes. But you can expect Uguti is going to give you something every time he comes on. And because of that, he played in the second half, so I'm just going to give him a 7.8. 7.8. And then Utuba comes on, and I didn't see much of Utuba really, but when I did see him, you saw a potential. This is what this player can do for the team. So now, I'm just going to give him a 6 because I didn't see much. Okay, Tuba, this is what he's doing. I just saw glimpses of confidence here and there when he was on the ball, passing the ball, making a move, which is always good to see. And then Uzwane, with regards to him, the tactics, how he played, how he set up the team, I really found it really bold. Udlalisa Uzwane, introduce uMahlatsi, bench uSolomons. All these decisions that he made show ukuthi he is now willing to take the risks that we've been urging him to take. And because of that, really, when it comes to Ama tactics, he got it spot on. It's just that the fitness yabadlali second half wasn't the greatest, and that has to do with a fitness coach who has to work with the coach and work with the players and make sure they're fit enough to play in games. And because of that, Uzwane, I will give him a 9.5 for Ama tactics. Aizolo, let me know what you thought of Ama tactics Kazwane, what you thought of everything that happened in yesterday's game down on the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and until next time, remember, equals alphela umoya.